She's so cute.
She's so spoiled. I'm gonna confess to my sins. We are going to tell you all the juicy secrets that you've been wondering. Like, have we ever shit in a bag? Mike's on you. No. Have you ever shit in a bag? Yeah. Where? Why? In the city in San Francisco, because, like, I don't know. It just had to happen. You just had to do it. We are going to be confessing everything about van life, YouTube. Maddie Taylor here with me is also a YouTuber, so I'll link her YouTube channel in the description down below. Confessing everything. Yeah, I have a bunch of questions, but at the same time, we're also going to be painting. I have a series of paintings in the back of my van that I have painted from different places. It's so cute. That's not mine. That's not mine. I didn't do that. This isn't yours? No, somebody painted me. They really went really heavy with the red. I know, it's terrifying. It's kind of scary. I know. It's like, for this to be the first thing you see when you open this, it's like a little bit scary. Do you have any regrets with your van build at all? I think that the biggest regret I have is that I don't have a slightly bigger van. Because if I had a slightly bigger van, I would have built it very differently. But with the size of the van that I have, I really love everything about it, to be honest. How about you? The biggest regret for me is always the toilet. It's a good one. Yeah. I don't know why I was so resistant. And it's one of those things where, like, moms know best. Like, she just kept being like, Sarah, you're going to regret this. And I was like, no, Mom, I'm not. And now, here I am. Kind of regretting it. Definitely regretting it. Have you had any, like, scary moments on the road? Honestly, the scariest moments have had nothing to do with people or animals and purely to do with just my van malfunctioning. I just had a pretty scary thing where my engine light and my DEF alarm came on when I was like over 100 miles away from a mechanic. The idea that I could be stranded somewhere with no service, I think is the scariest thing for me really about van life in general. Yeah. That's the reason that I stay in service most of the time. It's not because I'm scared of evil people, but because I'm scared of being stranded without service. For sure. I actually have had a scary moment with a person. Yeah, I don't think I told you this, but I was working at that farm town. Yeah. A bunch of different farms, and it was a super small town, and at the same time it wasn't like the safest town. Like, someone that week had just been murdered and there was like a hunt for him and there were helicopters. But I always felt like safe in that town because I had my community and my support system, and I also slept like behind a gate on private property with friends. So I felt safe in that way. But one day I was at the grocery store with a friend and we had our vans parked with like the sliding doors facing each other. This guy comes and he's like messing with the back of my van, and I get an immediate,
What do you mean messing with the back of
he
your
was
van?
like, I couldn't tell what he was doing, but he was like coming up to my van. I got this like gut feeling in my stomach, like this is a bad person. So I went to the back of the van and I was like, what are you doing? And he immediately like got really wide-eyed. It almost looked like he was on drugs or something. And then he just like backed up and he didn't say anything. He just looked at me and like backed up in a really weird way.
Oh, that's creepy.
So I immediately went back and told my friends, like, let's go. Like, this is weird. Like, let's leave. And so we started getting everything ready to leave. And then he starts literally like charging in, like walking with such conviction in between both of our vans towards us. I end up kind of like jumping out of the van, and I took like a year of self-defense Krav Maga classes. So I got out of the van and I literally put my hands up ready to punch him, and I said, back up.
Oh my God, that's so wild.
And my hands were like this, like I was ready to punch him, and my adrenaline was like going in my body, and all of my friends were terrified. Like, they also got bad vibes from him. He ended up like getting, again, really wide-eyed and left, and then we really quickly like ran off. But then we found out what he was doing in the back of our van, my van, was he was like writing a phone number. Like, he was like involved with human trafficking, I think, because he was trying to like offer to pay us to like prostitute, like for sexual activity. Like, he had written something in Spanish, it wasn't English. So that was that.
That's a really intense experience. I'm really glad that you guys were okay.
It smells like a fart in here, and I have this impulse to blame it on someone else because I feel like it's not me, but I'm the only one in here.
I walk this road because I know it leads to you. No matter when, no matter what, I have a place to go.
So what's going on with the hole in your pants?
I think it's just wear. Like, I've worn these pants so much, and they're kind of delicate, and so they just kind of have worn out right in the tushy. How about yours?
Mine, like, I had altered them. It lasted for a really long time, but then it just like ripped at one point. This is like a very interesting taco because it's leftovers from our spaghetti.
Yeah, it's Italian.
It's spaghetti in a taco. Yeah. It's actually pretty good though. What did your journey with making money on YouTube look like? Like, was that an intentional transition that you wanted to make money on YouTube, or like, was it a mistake, kind of?
Yeah, I haven't talked about this a lot. I think that I always hoped, but never had any expectations. Being able to make a living off of YouTube is not a common thing. You know, it's not really that realistic, I think, for a lot of people. And so when I started YouTube, I did it because it sounded really fun and I thought there was a possibility, and I expected it to fail. I expected to not make money, which I think is a safe call. I think for that reason, because I had such low expectations or no expectations, it's just made the fact that it's working out
So much more exciting.
so much more exciting and special. And what about you?
I just always knew it was something I wanted to do, and I always knew I didn't want a job doing something I didn't like. And I've always loved making videos and creating art. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist. My mom would ask me, like, what do you want to be? And I'd be like, I want to be an artist. And when I was a kid, everybody was like, oh, that's cute. Yeah, you can be an artist. And then once I got older, my mom was like, no, you need to be a doctor or an engineer or something like that. So it kind of crushed my dreams. And then when I came across Vanlife, it kind of felt like a way to escape that like system. And also YouTube felt like a way that you could, you know, create your own schedule. You could make money off your art, create your own story. And I think all of that really appealed to me. And the fact that people were making money off of it was really like appealing to me too, because then you don't have to work a job you hate. You don't have to answer this if you don't feel comfortable. But do you have experience dating on the road, and how has that been different than dating in a house?
I don't mind spilling the tea on this.
Okay.
So I have dated on the road.
Yeah,
And I think I think that dating on the road is much easier when you have someone who also knows like the nature of life on the road. For me personally, I think it'd be a lot harder to date someone who doesn't understand van life or who has no interest in van life, because it is a very different lifestyle, and it's not like you're sticking around. Like, if you did meet someone who lives in one place, you're almost automatically going to do long distance if you guys really hit it off. And so I think it takes a special someone in your life to be able to make that work, or to be able to do it seriously. I got into van life with the expectation that is just not a part of this lifestyle, and I just think it takes a special someone for that to really work out.
in any significant way, but it's also nice because you get to meet so many different people from all walks of life, and exploring dating on the road can actually be really enriching and fulfilling in different ways just because you're going to so many new places and meeting people with such different life experience. And
you learn a lot through dating on the road.
Exactly. So there's definitely gives and takes, pros and cons.
Have you ever dated someone who doesn't live in a van? Or is it just people who've lived in van?
No, I think, I've gone on dates with people who didn't live on the road, but they never amounted to anything.
Yeah.
You have a long distance girlfriend.
I do.
How has that experience been for you?
Oh, I love her, but it's so terrible to be apart. It's so bad. I hate long distance, you know? But I think that's why, like, I've decided to make steps to make it a little less long distance. Like, she's going to start saving up for the van. We do travel a lot together, and I'm planning to spend more time in Austin too.
You make it work for love.
Yeah, and it does take a special person. Like I actually didn't think that anybody would make me be able to do long distance.
Really?
Yeah, I never thought I would do long distance, which I guess is weird because I live in a van, so you'd assume like you'd have to think that. But I was just at a period of my life where I was prioritizing travel so much more than anything else. And when I met Tori, had just gotten out of a relationship maybe like a few months ago, and usually after a breakup I try to be single for like 2 years. Like that has been my past experience, is like a long-term relationship, 2 years of being single. I just like being able to like grow from the relationship and have my alone time after and like heal, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not that I hadn't healed, but just more that I wasn't like looking for a relationship. And then I met her and it just kind of happened. Like I couldn't help but fall in love with her.
That's so cute.
But it did kind of like raise all these questions, like, do we want to be open? Do we want to be close? Do we want to be long distance? Do we want to live in the same van or separate vans? There were just so many questions, I think, that it raised just by the nature of me like living this alternative lifestyle.
But I kind of have to ask those tough questions like earlier on.
This road, it takes me home. The skies are blue.
Like my spirit got knocked down
It leads to you. No matter when, no matter what, I have a place to go.
And thank you for this.
You're welcome.
What'd you put on the tempeh? It tastes smoky.
Liquid smoke.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, liquid smoke. Was it hard for you to adjust to living on the road at all?
Yeah, it kind of was. Not knowing anyone kind of sucks, to be honest. Built my van out and it took me 5 months to build it out. And then I didn't have any of my friends with me that whole time. I met some new friends at my brother's house, which was really awesome, and I had my brother. But it was kind of this thing where I was already plunged into leaving everything I knew behind and then building out the van and then getting on the road, like hoping that I would meet people. I had the opposite idea as you. I thought I would meet people. I really thought that I would just like stumble into other van lifers as I was traveling, and I just really didn't. And I really didn't meet anybody until social media became my best friend in that regard. To be completely honest, it was kind of a little boring at first because I didn't know how to fill my time. It took a while for me to adjust, 1, to being more comfortable with loneliness, 2, figuring out how to fill my time in enriching ways where Eliza's permitted, and then 3, just building my community so that my life felt enriching on the road.
Yeah, I totally actually relate to that thing of it
Really?
being boring at first a little, because like I also think we're brought up in such a
toxic productivity way that it's hard for us to be like, wow, I like don't have to do anything today.
Yeah.
I'm like in this beautiful spot, and what do I do?
Yeah.
Once you figure it out and you're like, oh, I can go on hikes, I can paint, I can wire wrap jewelry, you know, like, or write, like you start to figure out what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, that's really cool. Thanks. I love that. I don't know how I feel about it.
Really?
I like it a lot. Do you want to see my palm tree?
I would love to. Oh, that's so cute.
Cute.
I love the highlights.
Yeah.
Oh, this is dreamy.
And then I'm doing Wyoming. My sunset picture.
Oh, I love.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
It's right there. Look at it. Yeah.
Want to wrap it up?
We should wrap it up, huh? Like normal people do.
Or do we just keep it going forever? I never know how to do these things with other people because I get nervous.
Thank you so much for watching Sarah's video. Please,
that was great.
Please like and subscribe.
I post videos every Wednesdays and Sundays. She posts videos every Saturdays.
Yeah, you can come on over if you feel like it.
Yeah, I'll leave her videos in the description. Bye, love you guys. Bye.